Hi, my name is Terry Bates. I am the director of the Cornell Lake Erie Research and Extension Lab. And we're out in the Concord Vineyard. It is bloom time, 2017. And I'm here with Dan Sprague, who monitors our phenology vines. And he's here to talk to us about what does it mean to have phenology vines, why do we have them, and a little bit about the history, and then how we go about counting and determining when bloom and other phenology stages are. So Dan, hi, and why don't you tell us just a little bit about what you do with the phenology vines here?
The phenology actually started at the Fredonia lab in the 60s it was, and when we moved up here to Portland, this section here, this is the Route 20 block of grapes, was compared to the Fredonia section for several years to make sure that they correlated the same. And we have multiple pruning styles that we maintain. There's 90 node, 120 node, balanced prune, and minimal prune. And what we're doing today is looking for percent bloom. So we start with this. At this bunch, the flowers that are coming here, when these florets are open, when 50% of the florets are open, we call it bloom. And we've been studying this from dormant period to dormant to bud break to bud burst to a flat leaf stage to a cluster stage to where we are today with bloom.
So why do we maintain phenology vines? Again, this is something that started in the 60s. It's a way for the industry to kind of identify how the weather conditions of a particular growing season are affecting vine growth, yield potential, crop estimation, all those things that go into helping us manage our vineyards. So we maintain these different pruning levels, and Dan comes out here and maintains those phenology metrics for us. So why do we care about bloom? Up until this point in the season, everything we've been doing so far is to predict when bloom is going to be. And now that bloom has set, everything early in the season really doesn't matter anymore because bloom sets our clock. So today is June 12th, and then we count 69 days ahead, which will be August 20th, and that's when veraison hits. So that's when the start of fruit ripening in Concord happens in the Lake Erie belt. So we use that bloom predictor to set the clock for the season, and that gives us an idea of how much we could potentially ripen. So on average, we're about 3 days early on bloom, and we know from past pruning and thinning work that being 3 days early means we can ripen about an extra ton than normal. So if I know in this vineyard, I know it's a consistent 7 tons per acre in this vineyard. This year I could ripen 8 if my crop estimate says that I have that much. If I'm hanging 10, I may want to fruit thin it back to 8 on a year like this one. Okay, you can leave comments in the section below.